So do you.
Everybody watches what I do. Thank you. My green button wasn't on. Thank you, Matt. Their motion to approve the minutes of our September 21st, 2020 Village Board meeting.
So moved.
Second by trustee McCarthy, seconded by trustee LaRocca. Tia, call the roll.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca.
Aye.
Trustee Giesser.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Under our listening posts, we have 3 proclamations, and trustee Giesser asked me if he could read number 1 is a proclamation designating October 12th Indigenous People Day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. As the mayor said, it's a proclamation proclaiming Indigenous Peoples' Day in Carroll Stream. Whereas the Village Board recognizes that the indigenous people of the lands, later known as the Americas, have lived here since time immemorial, and whereas the village of Carroll Stream is located on land that once belonged to the Kickapoo, Peoria, Potawatomi, Miami, and Sioux, and whereas federal policies force the mass relocation of indigenous peoples from their ancestral homelands, whereas we pay respect to the cultures and populations that existed long before European contact, celebrating the contributions of all indigenous peoples, and whereas Indigenous Peoples Day was first proposed in 1977 by a delegation to the United Nations-sponsored International Conference on Discrimination Against Indigenous Populations in the Americas, and whereas the United States endorsed the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, the Declaration, on December 16, 2010, and the Declaration recognizes that Indigenous peoples have suffered from historic injustices as a result of their colonization and dispossession of their lands, territories, and resources. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that Mayor Frank Savarino and the Carroll Stream Village Board of Trustees, DuPage County, Illinois, in the exercise of its home rule powers, do hereby proclaim October 12th, 2020 as Indigenous Peoples Day in Carroll Stream and urge citizens to recognize the contributions made by Indigenous peoples. Proclaim the 5th day of October, 2020.
Thank you, trustee Giesser. The second is a proclamation designating October National Community Planning Month, and trustee Zalick has asked to read that one.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Proclamation designating October National Planning Month. Whereas change is constant and affects all cities, towns, suburbs, counties, boroughs, townships, rural areas, and other places. And whereas community planning and planners can help manage this change in a way that provides better choices for how people work, live, and play. And whereas community planning provides an opportunity for all residents to be equally involved in making choices that determine the shared vision of their neighborhoods. And whereas the month of October is designated as National Community Planning Month throughout the United States of America and its territories. And this year's theme, Planning is Essential to Recovery, highlights how planning and planners can lead communities to equitable, resilient, and long-lasting recovery from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. And whereas the American Planning Association and its professional institute, the American Institute of Certified Planners, endorsed National Community Planning Month as an opportunity to highlight the contributions sound planning and plan implementation make to the quality of our neighborhoods and environment. And whereas the celebration of National Community Planning Month gives us the opportunity to publicly recognize the participation and dedication of the members of the Plan Commission, Zoning Board of Appeals, and other citizen planners who have contributed their time and expertise to the improvement of the village of Carroll Stream. And whereas we recognize the many valuable contributions made by professional community and regional planners of the village of Carroll Stream and extend our heartfelt thanks for the continued commitment to public service by these professionals. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that Mayor Frank Savarino and the Village of Carroll Stream Board of Trustees do hereby proclaim October 2020 as Community Planning Month in the Village of Carroll Stream in conjunction with the celebration of National Community Planning Month. Proclaim this 5th day of October 2020.
Thank you, trustee Zalick. The number 3 would be a proclamation designating October Manufacturing Month, and Trustee McCarthy has asked if he could read that one.
Whereas our country, our state, and our community were founded and developed on manufacturing. And whereas manufacturing has held a prominent place in the Carroll Stream business community since its inception. And whereas manufacturing employs over 57,000 people in over 3,500 businesses in DuPage County, and manufacturing is the 5th largest industry in the county. And whereas Carroll Stream is a desired location for manufacturing businesses based on its proximity to major expressways, major arterial roadways, O'Hare International Airport, and DuPage County Airport. And whereas Carroll Stream is home to more than 100 manufacturing businesses totaling over 4 million square feet of space in a variety of industries, including automotive parts manufacturing, food production, metal fabrication, paper processing, commercial cooking equipment manufacturing, and packaging material manufacturing. Now therefore, be it proclaimed that Mayor Frank Savarino Sr. and the Carroll Stream Village Board of Trustees, DuPage County, Illinois, in the exercise of its home rule powers, do hereby proclaim October 2020 as Manufacturing Month in the Village of Carroll Stream, and call upon the community to celebrate and acknowledge the contributions manufacturing has made and continues to make in our community. Proclaim this 5th day of October 2020.
Thank you, Trustee McCarthy. Do we have any audience participation? There was nothing in there? No? Nothing. Okay, thank you. With that, we will go right into, is there a motion to establish a consent agenda?
So moved?
Second.
Moved by Trustee Geezer, seconded by Trustee Zalick. Tia, call the roll.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca.
Aye.
Trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Tia, would you please read what is on the consent agenda?
Staff reports and recommendations. Award of contract to Mauer Sewer Construction, Inc. at the bid unit prices submitted for the Schmale St. Charles Geneva Water Main Project.
Yes.
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 Resolutions. Resolution accepting a grant of stormwater management and conveyance easement for 550 Center Avenue Logistics Property Company.
Yes.
Yes.
That is resolution number 3157. New business. Approval of a raffle license and waiver of the fee and manager's fidelity bond for the Knights of Columbus raffle to be held at Corpus Christi Church on October 20th, 2020 through October 28th, 2020.
Yes.
Yes.
Payment of bills. Regular bills, September 22nd, 2020 through October 5th, 2020.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Addendum warrants, September 22nd, 2020 through October 5th, 2020.
Yes.
Yes.
Is there a motion to put those items on the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Trustee LaRocca, seconded by Trustee McCarthy. Tia, call the roll.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca.
Aye.
Trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve those items by omnibus vote?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee McCarthy, seconded by Trustee Zalick. Tia, call the roll.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca.
Aye.
Trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Report of officers, let's go right down to, back to our normal. Trustee LaRocca.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Very briefly, I just want to extend my thoughts and prayers to Trustee Frozzoloni and her husband, Rob, for a speedy recovery from their recent surgeries. And the only other thing I have is November 3rd is 2 weeks closer than last time. And I want to remind everybody to do their homework, select who you think is the right person for the job, and get out and vote. And that's my report.
Thank you, Trustee LaRocca.
Thank
Trustee
you.
Geezer.
Thank you very much. It's October, so that means it's Halloween decorating contest time. The deadline is October 23rd, so nominate your neighbors, nominate yourself, nominate your family members. You can email the address to decoratingcontest@carrollstream.org, and Tia. We'll be sending you pictures shortly so we can start getting the story map up on the website. We've got about 12 nominees so far, so we usually get between 30 and 40, so we're right on track. We're right on track. And then finally, I'd just like to say, it's a few days late, but happy 27th wedding anniversary to my wife, Kim. So,
Congratulations.
thank you. That's my report.
Who's she married to?
Some good-looking
I
guy.
saw that, very nice.
Especially after the bee
Congratulations.
stings.
Wasn't a bee, it was a hornet.
Okay.
It was a hornet.
Trustee Zalik.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First off, I want to say how proud I am of the village for recognizing October 12th as Indigenous Peoples' Day and the month of October as National Community Planning Month and Manufacturing Month. But since 1981, October is also recognized as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. The Domestic Violence Awareness unites advocates across our nation in their efforts to end domestic violence. As a police officer, I've been summoned to many domestic violence calls, and I see how it tears the family up and scares the kids. And sometimes it's a process where then the younger kids then turn into the either a victim or an aggressor. So, and I'm wearing purple because it shows support of ending domestic violence and bringing awareness to the issue. I know our village has also took this into account. Back in 1973, they began our social service unit in our police department, where social workers are at the police officer's disposal and the residents to help in every sort of domestic issue that they might have, whether it be counseling or finding a different place to live. So, thank God that we have the social service, because not many departments have that at their disposal. And finally, I want to recognize one of Carroll Stream's police retirees. Gary Herman passed away just recently, suddenly, and I want to give my condolences to his family and friends. I worked with Gary as the police, and like I said, I want to give my condolences to his wife and his family. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Zalik. Trustee McCarthy.
I'd also like to pass my condolences to Gary's family. You hate when you see somebody retire, not that long ago. I mean, it's been a while, but still, way too young. And the other thing, I don't know if people are getting antsy or what, but everybody, if you see something, say something. We've had a rash of vandalism that is criminal. It's not just somebody scraping some chalk or something like that on. I mean, they're destroying property. The Park District's been hit viciously hard. One of the little library on
Off of Arrowhead.
off of Arrowhead was torched. This is not good, because when bad things happen, it almost seems like it encourages more bad things to happen. People jump on a bandwagon. We need to cut this off. We need to take care of our community. There's a lot of money that's been put into this community. The residents, the village, the Park District, we're all proud of it. And when we see things like this happening, it gets frustrating, to say the least. But if you see something, make the phone call to the police. They'll be more than happy to come out and investigate and make sure, if we can catch the person who did it, they're going to be the ones who do it. So we need to speak up. Besides that, since Greg's not here, I will say shop Carroll Stream. Don't ever forget to shop Carroll Stream. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Trustee McCarthy. Tia, would you have anything to put about Halloween or about anything?
I would love to share that the Village of Carroll Stream has tentatively decided to move ahead with Halloween trick-or-treating hours. We have also extended the hours for Halloween this year from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. to allow more time for people to spread out their trick-or-treating. We ask that participants please respect the homes that are choosing not to participate. Depending on if you want to be a household handing out candy or not, we have some flyers available on the front page of our website that you can download and print off, or you can come to Village Hall, say hello to us, and we have some flyers printed off in our lobby. We have additional guidance based on CDC and Illinois Department of Public Health recommendations on the front page of our website, and we hope everyone can have a happy and safe holiday.
Thank you.
Oh, can I ask her one question?
Sure.
Well, the census has been extended, yes?
Yes, the most recent information that we have is that the 2020 census has been extended to October 31st. We do ask that if you haven't completed the census to do that as soon as possible. You can do that at my2020census.gov. As the date is a moving target, please get that in as soon as you can.
Thank you. Mr. Rhodes, our village attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Illinois Municipal League announced its fall veto session legislative agenda, which is available on the IML's website, iml.org. So I would encourage everyone to take a look at that agenda. And if in fact you support the agenda, to contact your legislators indicating your support for those items. Also, the Illinois Municipal League is looking for interested municipal officials to serve on various policy committees that they have. So if anyone is interested, information about serving on those committees is also available on iml.org. And that's all I have.
Thank you. And Joe Carey, being Mr. Miller is not here, are you prepared to
I am.
bring us up to speed?
So as you're all aware, on November 3rd, we have the general election. And we also have a referendum question on the Carroll Stream ballot on whether the village clerk position should be an appointed or an elected position. Due to inquiries by residents on this matter, a list of pros and cons on this have been posted on the village website, social media, and at our customer service counters. As it relates to street projects, our street patching project has begun their work and is expected to be completed later this week. Our crack fill contractor is also expected to begin this week, and that project should be completed within the next couple of weeks. Our Public Works Department is also beginning flushing of all village fire hydrants. Flushing will take place Monday through Saturday and should take approximately 2 weeks to complete, obviously weather permitting. Public Works will be posting signs in the area to keep residents informed as to when flushing will take place. And that concludes my report.
That's it?
That's it.
Thank you. Well, we're in a very, very weird time of the year for us. Basically, we haven't started to get into the budget process. We're basically finished trying to figure out where we're going. Everything starts right after Christmas, basically, for all of us. So it seems like short meetings and not a lot to cover, but there's not a lot going on, thank God. Trustee LaRocca said earlier, do your homework if you're going to go vote. Getting an awful lot of stuff in the mail, tremendous amount of mail. Everybody's better than everybody else, and they're talking about how bad everybody else is. Do your homework. There's websites to go to. I don't know where they're all at. I know who the politicians are, so I know who I'm voting for. That's who I care about. But do your homework. Don't vote because they're male or female or gender. It doesn't matter. You need to do your homework before you pull that lever, because that's very important. This is a critical election, both locally and nationally, so please, again, one more time, please do your homework. We had a lot of pros and cons about Halloween. My first recommendation was to cancel it completely. I didn't think it was a good idea to have kids going door to door. I compromised and we went for more hours, which was not one of my ideas. I won't take any credit for it. 5 hours, I think, with kids going door to door with what's going on right now is not a good thing, but it ended up to be that way. So do the right thing. Make sure that you have a mask on if you have kids come to your door. Make sure that they're standing apart. You're not going to get a bunch of little kids to stand 6 feet apart. They're not going to all have on masks like we're wearing tonight so they can social distance the right way. And I'm very concerned about it. We had some people send some nasty letters in. Some thought it was a great idea, and some thought it was terrible. Unfortunately, I seem to take the blame for everything that happens, even though I was the one that didn't want it, and then compromised to have it, and then we extended the hours, which it is what it is. So just be very careful and cautious, that's all I'm saying. Careful who you let to your door. We're going to have all the information available on the website. There'll be signs if you don't want somebody to come to your door. You'll have a sign to put up that will say not to come, that you don't want them to be there, and then there'll be a green and a red sign, you could either come or not come. So, I mean, we're putting a lot of extra effort into this. We've canceled everything all the way through Christmas. Even Santa Claus ain't coming this year. That's one of the reasons that I thought this is basically the last thing that we're doing. I thought the decorations would have been enough and given an award out, but I guess, when you look at it, I guess I feel really bad for the kids, but I'd rather see them safe than sorry. That's my number one goal, is to keep them. I spend a lot of time in the schools when I'm invited in. I always go in because I love the kids. They're our future, and if we don't take care of our future, who's going to take care of it? These kids in school here may end up, we have people on this board that grew up in this town that are on the board. So we had a village manager that grew up here, was born and raised here. So, I mean, to me, that's our future. So I just hope everything goes good and the weather is good and the kids go along with what they're supposed to be going along with. I already bought a bunch of candy. I've had people tell me all different ways, put a drain pipe out and throw the candy down the drain pipe through them. It's like, I'm not worried about, if one come to the door at a time, fine with the mask on. I got notice today that my daughter-in-law has got COVID. We don't know how serious right now, nothing, but my grandkids are being tested today. So maybe I worry more than I should worry, but I do worry. I mean, because they're not just my grandkids, there's everybody's kids that I worry about. We all worry about them, so just do the right thing while you're out there. Trustee Zalick brought up an officer that passed. I think he actually retired before I became mayor. That was 13 years ago or 14 years ago. But I was on the board at the time. I think some of us were on the board back then when he retired. A wonderful person. It breaks my heart to see somebody retire that worked that hard. He did get in some good years, and he stayed right here in Carroll Street, which to me is commendable. And it was nice to see past chiefs of police at the wake that came, and a lot of police officers that either were in town or made it a point to go to the wake. So that tells me that he was really a good person. I never really had a lot to do with him because at that point I was just a trustee, and he retired, I think, 2 years after I got on. So that was a long time ago, 15, 16 years ago. So with that, we're getting into the night earlier. Think about it, it's 6:30 now, and another 2 weeks, it'll be dark by this time completely, and we're going to have 2 or 3 hours of those kids coming door to door. Watch out for them in your area. Try and keep as many lights on as you could, and do the right thing. With that, a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee McCarthy, seconded by trustee Zalick. Tia, call the roll.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca.
Aye.
Trustee Geiser.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.